10th Commission meeting to order. Commissioner Fishback, would you lead us in the pledge, please? In the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. First thing on our agenda is to discuss the potential salary for the new auditor and for Register of Deeds. Don't everybody speak at once.
So by statute, because we're $25,000 to $69,999, the minimum those salaries have to be is $39,479, correct?
That is correct.
Well, I don't think we should deter the folks that are working in those offices currently from running because they think that their salary is going to be cut. So I guess I would be open to saying something to the effect of, if you're currently working in those offices, you will make at least what you currently are making, and then we can kind of go from there if we feel we should be.
We're just talking the auditor and Register of Deeds, not the staff.
Right. But the folks that are running for those positions, I think that was the clarification that needed to be made. Will it be backed automatically to the 39? No, I don't think so. That's the minimum salary.
So you want to give preferential treatment to the ones
No.
that are in office? Because like in Max's office, there's two currently working, so they'd be running for a higher wage than the one that's not working.
But 39 is not set. You don't have to pay them 39.
No.
That's the minimum.
No, I think what Nancy means is, if somebody from the outside wins, we can't give her less, we would have given the ones that were in here. So
That's what I mean.
So we should set the wage.
Right now.
Well,
For all.
Take 2388 times 2080.
2388.
2388.
49,670.
Yeah, 49,670.
That's, the issue then is that you have a deputy that is making 49,670. So the 39,479 doesn't come in play because
Right.
Shirley's not going to take a job for 39 when she's making 49. So that's where the decision has to be made. And that's different from the auditor versus, because you've got a different twist here. It isn't the same thing for Deeds and the auditor because you've only got one person running and she's making 49,670. Well, you surely can't put her in a job at 39,479 because she isn't going to run.
Okay, what are these two making?
Well, that was the first one. Okay, take 1722 times 2080.
One is 35,000 plus.
35,817.
The other one's the same
As Roberta.
Roberta.
Yeah.
Why don't we set both of them at $55,000?
What are
Yeah.
you making right now?
59,397.
With how many years experience?
500.
Here since 80. But as auditor since 90.
28 years?
So if you go to 55, you're looking at basically a 10% increase for what the current Deeds is making. I mean, that's her deputy Deeds is at 49,670.
Carol's making the same as you, isn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It says somewhere between that and 49, I think.
I think that sounds like a fair bit.
And I just picked 55 because it's about halfway between,
Yep,
or 54, or whatever.
Thoughts?
that makes
Years since 55?
That was just about
Between the
halfway between the 49 and the 59. 59,397 is what the three of them make right now.
I'd be fine with that.
I would entertain a motion to set the wage for the auditor and the Deeds at 55,000.
So moved.
Effective
Starting
January 1.
January.
January 1.
No, wait,
No.
just a minute.
She's
Okay,
doing it earlier.
auditor.
Sutton and who?
Who seconded it?
I didn't.
I did.
I'll second it.
Okay.
But,
And now you need to clarify it.
Okay,
No, Deeds
Now,
goes
keep-
earlier.
right. It depends. Okay.
When they take office, might
That's
be the
probably
way
the
we
better
want
way.
to state it.
If no one files, I'll have to run this past State's Attorney's Office, but it's my understanding, if no one files as an independent by April 24th, then July 1 or July 2, Roberta would be sworn in as Register of Deeds.
So can we amend the motion to state
Well,
upon
you're
taking
still in
office?
discussion, so,
Upon taking office?
So I would amend my motion to include effective the day they they're sworn in as,
right, okay.
whether that's
Your
July
office is
1st
next
or...
March.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's July
Yeah, because
1st
you
and
can't
March,
say
whatever.
January 1.
No, nobody's January
So
1.
we gotta specify
Well,
the date.
yeah, right.
Effective the day they're sworn into
Right.
their elected office.
There
Yeah,
we go.
okay, 55,000,
Effective when they're sworn in.
effective upon,
The day of taking oath.
yeah.
So when, yours is like in the middle of March, isn't it?
No, it would, I'm done March 1st, so it would be
Okay. so
March
it's
4th. First Monday in March,
Okay.
yeah. And we know these, well, it, yeah, start of term works, yeah. Okay,
But over there, it won't be start of term.
We
but
have-
that start, yeah, it is,
Kinda
it's
her
just
term.
her, under the circumstances, she just gets 4 plus
Yeah.
6 months.
She has to take an oath the day she goes into office, though.
Yeah,
So
right.
upon taking oath,
That's,
So if
I like
that's July
that.
2nd, it's July 2nd, whatever
Yeah.
day that
Okay.
is.
Yeah,
so we have
no
an
one
amend-
files.
we have an amendment to the motion.
Well,
to-
no, just make it in
Okay.
one motion.
Sutton's motion, Nancy second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have Kurt Smith, award roof bid for Richmond Youth Camp Lodge. Kurt, get in.
Well, that door.
Let's see.
Kurt, I think-
Any Kurt? Kurt's not out there? No?
There was only...
That was the lone bid, right?
It was the only, yeah, there was one bid, and it's my understanding Kurt has no problem with it.
No, hey, you're okay. If he's not
The
here,
bid
he's not
was-
gonna make it.
$55,840.
And that's replacing a roof on the
Lodge,
lodge.
from asphalt shingles to metal. I don't know if the terminology's right on that.
Steel roof, I think.
Okay, and then I also have the contract agreement, for the project. So if you want to award the bid,
And there was no estimate on that, was there?
do it.
There was no estimate done on that.
They were estimated between 50 and 60, so it came in about what they thought it would be. But that was just a...
I'll move it then.
approval.
Second.
Moved by Fishback, second by Kipling to approve the,
Award the bid.
award the bid for the replacing, putting a steel roof on the lodge out at the Richmond Lake Youth Camp.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now there'd be a motion to authorize the chair to sign the contract for that project.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Kipling, second by Sutton to authorize chair to sign the contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda, Judy Doss, Building Superintendent, updated on added security cost at Treasurer's Office. Morning, Judy.
Good morning.
Got the quote from House of Glass for the, putting the side
Yep.
on the counters at the treasurer's office.
And that's been effective, Sheila? You think that makes a big difference?
Very helpful. It doesn't help much with the yelling inside, but at least between the communication to the customer and the clerk is better.
I got the cost for a half an inch thick Lexan is $2,110.11, and if we would go down to a 3/8 thick Lexan, I could deduct $360, and that would be $1,750 and 11 cents.
What was the sample we've been using?
Lexan. It's 3/8.
The cheaper?
Yep. What we're going to do, because it's kind of flimsy, you know, I've also asked them to put those round radius things in there at the bottom and attach it to the shelf to have a little bit more of, you know, sturdiness there.
Yeah, 'cause customers lean against it. and-
Yeah. So,
How many are you looking at putting in there? Is that all? Is that-
just the first stall and the last stall won't have any. It'll be just the ones, so there's 4.
And they're at $17.50 a piece?
If you go with the 3/8, yep. No, it's $1,750.11 for all 4.
Okay, that's what I
All
was...
4.
All 4 of them.
That was my
not-
question,
makes
is
more
if they
sense.
were individual or...
No, all
Okay.
4
I
of
was
them,
wondering
the
that.
total.
Okay.
Is there any, when I bought my license plates, and I couldn't see them. I mean, because they, you know, and I can't...
See-through.
Yeah. Is there any way to shade them or put something on them so you can... I don't know, I had that trouble when I was over there.
You can.
You don't see them. When you're working there, I bumped into it because it's probably my old eyes.
Yeah, the customers do that, yeah.
You mean tinted or something? So it's
Yeah.
colored?
Or,
Painted black.
I don't
No,
know.
you don't
I
want
mean,
to
or
tool
just
eggs,
put a-
then you don't know what's happening on, in
Put
between,
neon
but like a
stickers or
shaded
something.
color, like a
Yeah.
pale blue or something in there.
yeah, or...
And I don't know if they can trim it with something so that maybe it'll get your attention, and that's going to be another added cost, so.
Or buy some sticky butterflies and peel on them or something.
That I can do. I can afford to do that on my...
Sticky butterflies.
I don't know if we want to start getting into tinting and
No.
painting and graphics, that just adds the cost. I think,
Just add holiday stuff on
yeah.
on the side.
Or words, pay now.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay
Yep.
here.
Yep.
I'd make a motion, we go with the cheaper option. It seems to be working just fine.
Second.
And
Motion by Kippley, second by Fishback to approve the 1753 ace glass panels dividers for the treasurer's office. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then I was just going to let you guys know that hopefully it's going to be dependent on the weather, but the automatic door stuff should be coming in like on Friday.
We can always depend on the weather. that's
I
for
know,
sure.
and hopefully next week, you know, he said he would try to work and get it put in for us if the truck can get here. So that's just for an update.
Question, the court and administrative door frame and window, is that what you're talking, or what is that? I see I was looking through the bills, it was $29,000
That was,
for a window, a door,
no,
and a
it's for the
frame.
door. It's for the door, the framing. For the clerk of court, for the court admin, she's got a window also, and a counter, and then for the clerk of court's window.
And that's just the materials, that isn't any labor to put it in?
That's everything.
Oh, that is, okay,
And that was the 50/50 grant.
okay. I just was curious when I seen that, and I thought,
Yep. Yeah, the special glass we have is very spendy. So,
and the jail sections that the city ran been taken care of, is that's under insurance, or I see there was 3 door sections that we had paid for, is that going to be insurance reimbursed,
yeah,
or?
we've already got the money for it, and it's,
Okay.
The money from the city or from the insurance company?
I'm thinking, I'm just
wondering,
wondering, check from the insurance, I think.
I'm thinking our insurance is
I
gonna
don't
go
know
up
what
pretty soon.
Sarah,
I don't know.
Their insurance.
yeah,
That would have been under their insurance.
Their
so-
insurance.
City's
Oh,
their
okay.
insurance.
Yeah.
yes.
Then I feel
Which
better.
is-
Which is our insurance, I mean, they're the same group that we have.
SDPA, it's all...
Yep, it's all the same.
But we don't get
But
the
it's
same
their
bill.
policy.
Yeah,
But we don't,
I don't want the ding.
Their claim, not ours.
yes.
Okay.
I said that should be something in defense of driving is how to back on.
Or don't do it.
Is it a reflector?
Anything else? I don't have anything else for you, I just had a couple of
Okay.
those questions when I was looking
Yep.
through those yesterday, so.
No problem.
All right, thank you, Judy.
You're home free.
Good.
Next item on the agenda, Chris Heeman, Weed Pest Supervisor, Recommended Chemical Bid Award. Chris, are you around? There you are. Morning.
Morning, everybody. Alrighty. Well, everybody's got their handy-dandy spreadsheet. Looks like the only big difference I noticed on anything was the biomist. Adapco has the chemical equivalency of it, and if we got 250 gallons and went through Van D's for the biomist, it would be another $2,800 total. So we've never ordered through Adapco before. After talking to them on the phone, I made sure to clarify that it's not going to be a delivery fee, anything weird like that. I'm okay with going with that one just because it's so much lower. It's basically the same chemical, so.
It's a generic form of biomist?
Yeah, basically, yep. Yep, the same formulation, just a different brand.
Container, yeah.
And then if you wanted to throw the Alticid on there too, just to have them with the mosquito chemical, and then go with Van Diest and the state bid for everything else.
And you alternate how you feel the best price is, right?
Yeah. I mean, we
Like
ordered
the Premier 90.
Yep. Yeah, the Premier 90, that was kind of a weird one. They, the chemical equivalent that we always get is the Brewer 9010, and which is what they normally bid for. But they put Premier 90 on there this time for some reason. So on the state bid, they actually had Brewer 9010, which is what, $12 cheaper. So we'll definitely get the Brewer 9010 off the state bid. Still order through Van Diest, but just go with that one. And then the other one that was a little bit different was the state bid for payload. They went with another brand, Lockdown, which I read the labels. It's the same thing as payload. So if Van Diest carries that, it should be the same thing. So it's just a matter of if they have it. Payload and Piper though, I think we should be able to get the Lockdown though, just because the Payload and Piper they don't actually have on stock either. Every time we've had to order that, they never have it, and it's like 4 to 6 weeks before they get it to us. So I finally got smart enough and just ordered it in the fall for next spring.
So basically, you're going to take the lowest and just pick and choose who you're going to use through these three.
Yeah, I mean, if we could, I'd say award the biomist one to Adapco, and then all the other chemicals, I guess that's the only one that they really have. Everything else go through Van Diest, and then get the state bid price from Van Diest.
Okay.
What about the briquettes?
Oh yeah, the briquettes. That price is actually set by the manufacturer, so it's kind of a horse of peace. If we want to go through Adapco, we can. It's makes no difference to me, I guess.
It's nice to give it to them.
Yeah, might as well. The only other mosquito chemical they don't have is Tempo. So that one we'd have to go through Van Diest.
There's almost $1 a pound difference on that Mojave.
The Mojave, yeah, for the state bid versus the.
Yeah, and so we get the cheaper on that one too.
Yeah, we can order off the state bid through them. So.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go with Weed and Pest recommendation on the purchasing of chemicals.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Fishback to approve Chris's recommendation on the chemicals on the state bid and the biomist under Adapco. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Have a good season once it ever starts.
Yeah, this could all be a moot point here if the snow never goes away.
Kids are only about, 80 days away from the days start getting shorter?
Doesn't get such a passive.
Your coffee mug is curly half empty.
I saw that on Twitter. 86 days till the days start getting shorter.
Mine's not old.
I'll wait for
Yep.
Chris.
Okay.
All right.
That's good, right?
Come on, right at 5 after now. Next item on the agenda, we have a Wise Metal property abatement.
Hi, good morning, Jan.
You guys,
Morning, Jan.
it's been a while since I've been to visit you, but
Welcome back.
I have some things to give you, and I also have a letter from my husband, since I'm not a landowner, to speak to you. So I'm going to hand these around.
Get one more, Jan.
Oh, sorry.
I gave it to, there we
You
go.
got one? You already got one? And this is the letter. You can see it. So. What I'm here to visit with you about is my husband and his siblings own lots 4, 5, 9, and 10 of Pheasant Run subdivision. And this is just the first original plat of what it looked like. And then the second one is a survey that we had done by Plan Brink to determine acreage of the lot after the bypass went through in '98. I have also a copy of the actual plat that went through, and then a copy of the plat when it was signed by Carol that it was recorded. And what has happened that the lots have been assessed since 2000, actually since '98, of complete acreage when the bypass has not been deducted from those acres. So that's why we had it surveyed. And the kids got the land in 2005 after Ed passed away, and assumed that everything was complete and done correctly, but we found out that the acreage that we've been taxed on is about half of what, is less than what was there, so the tax amount we feel is about double what it should be. And we've gone through the process with the Aberdeen Township Board. They've lowered the value. Gene Leschke also, I have the copy of the new assessments for 2018 payable next year. And so we are just requesting that the taxes be abated to show the actual correct acreage and what they should have been for the last 12 years. I don't have a dollar figure for you because I don't know how they arrive at what they do, except I did get the formula from Gene, so I know how it's done next year, and it makes sense to me. We just want the taxes corrected to reflect the correct acreage at the assessment values and mill levies for those 12 years.
In looking over some of this, Jan, that has been prepared by Gene, I guess there is some that have been abated, but they all could not be abated due to the statute. They can only abate up to the first day of November of the 4th year. Anything prior to that, there can't be an abatement done because the time frame is gone.
Okay.
And as I go through and I look some of this, there are some that are abatement has been approved on by Gene. There's quite a number of them here. It's hard to go through and tell you which ones.
There's 5 years on 4 lots, so we're talking 20 of them, yeah.
There's one here that, according to Gene, the Director of Equalization does recommend this abatement, and that dollar amount was like $1,247.60 on that particular one.
And the reason why is lots 4 and 5 have wetlands on them, and the formula Gene told me that they use is the first acre is 23,000, the next 2 through 4 acres is 8,500, and after that it's 2,500. So that lowers those values considerably, and he said because of the wetlands there, they dropped those two, I think one to 8,600 and one to 1,200. But the other 2 lots, and I can understand you have to start with the formula and work backwards, those actually did increase from what we had asked for because we didn't know this formula. Didn't even know how they arrived at the formulas or the valuations that they did. So we were comparing the property to the lot E, which is right to the south of lot 10, where it says Pheasant Run subdivision, that one, because that's undeveloped and it's the similar land, and their legal description, which I thought was kind of funny, says their description less lot H1. None of ours say lot less H1 or H2. So I did ask at the assessor's office why these were never taken out, and the answer I got was because they never got the H plats, which I find really hard to believe because I worked in the Register of Deeds office, and when we got any plats like that, we made sure they went through the office next door, so why would it be on one and not on the other two for sure, or three for sure? So I don't know what happened back then, but we've been paying a lot of taxes we didn't need to pay. We do have a attorney in our family, and he did give me some information as to what can be refunded and what can't be refunded. The only thing he said to me is that the commission needs to make us whole, so to go from there.
So Gene's got his recommendation there to go ahead and abate everything we can statutorily?
Well, the direct equalization on this particular plot is, he does recommend 1,577 be abated on this one.
Which lot is that?
Lot 9.
Okay, and that would be one of them that they start at 23,000 and work backwards. The two that they dropped really low were 4 and 5, because those are the two that have the wetlands on them. And 9 has basically gone from 5 acres to 2.5 acres, because it just cut it right in the middle and left this little tiny piece, which on that very first sheet you see is 10A. The reason Fran did that is because we eventually would probably entertain the idea of replatting these and split them, because you can't really sell lot 9 when the bypass cuts it like that. So that's the reason he labeled that as lot 10A, but we are not at that point yet. We just want to get the taxes resolved.
It looks like there's a substantial amount that's been abated that he recommends, because here's another one, lot 10, $1,331. I don't know, we have to bring Gene in. There's a lot of stuff here to go through, I'll be
There's
quite
a lot
honest
of
with you.
stuff to go
And
through,
I don't know
yeah.
that I can do it justice in this little short period of time, but
It's because it's been such a long time. And why Ed never did this, I have no clue. I mean, he was pretty savvy. I don't know why he never came in and said, how come I'm paying taxes on this? I think it's probably because after the time when his wife was really ill and he didn't think it was important. But the kids don't know about this. They're not land surveyors, what I mean. So, yeah, if you get 6 people to agree to something, it's quite an undertaking also.
Well, the way I understand it, based on South Dakota codified law, we can't abate the last either 4 or 5 years. I'd have to look. But I think 14, 15, 16, and 17 we can abate, the way I understand it.
Correct.
And then prior to that, we can't, based on South Dakota law.
Is that a motion?
So based on what I understand South Dakota codified law to be, that allows us to abate up to the last 4 years, I would make a motion to approve the abatements for the years 2014 through 2017.
I second it. Not everything, but at least it's something.
Well, it's a start. And I'm just saying that from what I've heard them say,
Sure.
so I won't go any farther than that. I do appreciate that much that you can do, absolutely. And the other thing is too, these refunds, I'm assuming come as a check?
Yes.
Okay, there's 6 owners, so we need to divide
No,
it 6 ways.
it'll be whoever pays the taxes will get the
Okay,
check.
that'll go to Peggy then. Okay, and I'm just gonna ask one really dumb question. This is gonna come back to her as a lump sum. How is this gonna affect her, tax-wise? Is what she's gonna ask. So,
She'd have to ask their tax.
okay. So everything will come to her, which is good, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, she'll get copies of the receipts.
Okay, that's fine. I will.
I didn't do the math, but it looks like it's gonna be, what's it, 4,000 something? I just went through the 3 real quick, and I don't have the exact number, but there's a lot of pages to go through here to try to...
The other thing I asked too of the assessor's office is that for sure that in 2018 payable in 2019, he did give me the new assessment values for them, and they are lowered, because I don't want to go through this again next year. We want to make sure everything is right going forward, and he assured me that it would be, so that's a plus too. But
Okay, all in favor of the motion to abate 14 through 17? We have a motion by Sutton,
Second by Kipley.
second by Gipley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much for
You
your
bet.
time
Thank you,
today and
Jan.
for listening.
Thanks,
You
Jan.
guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Okay. I would also entertain a motion to deny the years prior to 14. Denying to pay those due to statute.
Because of statute.
Right.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Hanson, second by Fishback to deny their previous years 14, prior to 14 due to state statute.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'll go through them with you when we sign them, because
Okay.
there's a different place to sign.
Okay. Morning, Kurt.
Good morning.
You've been approved. You've been approved.
Well, good.
Did you have any concerns or questions
I
with
don't.
this?
I did have an estimate last year, and it was within a couple $1,000s of what the estimate was for the same work. It was a different contractor, but
We made the approval, so you're good to go.
thank you. I appreciate that.
We figured there was only one bid, and there wasn't too much more to be said about it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So as soon as it stops snowing, you can start stealing.
As soon as it starts snowing, I can get the campers and boats out of storage, and we can start setting up horse stoves.
No kidding.
Yeah, the Bolorama might be postponed from this weekend, which would be good for me, because to have both the Wings playoff games and the Bolorama at the same time would be a little congested out there, so we're looking at possibly doing a postponement on that. So we moved snow in parking lots. We've never moved snow yesterday, just in case. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah.
Next item, 910, Dwayne, on the, Commissioner Sutton on the agenda, discuss HR part-time employee.
Based on Cliff Rhodes' conversation that we had last week, you know, it was my idea to approach Kurt to see if he'd be interested in taking on the responsibilities of that position, the HR benefit specialist, or whatever title we wanted to give him. And again, based on his conversation last week, he doesn't feel it's a good fit for him. And we had previously gotten some applications for a full-time HR employee that would take care of benefits and payroll. And I would make a motion today to proceed on hiring a part-time HR employee that would handle the benefits side of it and the orientation of new employees and so on, whatever title we call it.
What about
Benefit specialist.
Max has something to say.
This is just probably none of my business, but what if you hired a full-time person and they work half-time HR benefits, half-time for Scott Bader?
I don't know if Scott needs a full-time one.
This would be half-time.
We're still waiting
Okay.
to see what the 3-month is.
It was just thrown in.
I've put some inquiries out when I've been in the office area, and people I know who have worked payrolls and benefits. And there are some people that are semi-retired or retired and can't live off their Social Security, you know, retirement's working nowadays, that may be interested in a part-time position with the experience that we have, so that might help to open it up.
I will let you know that...
If I could interrupt for a minute, since we have a motion, maybe we should get a second so we can discuss.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion by Sutton, second by Hanson. Okay, now we have more discussion.
I will let you know that Erin, I did speak to Erin about this last night, and she is willing to stay on if that's what you chose to do, but the problem is just usually it's the timeliness of, since she's only able to come at the end of the day and or at night and weekends and things, it has made some of the things a little harder to deal with when they want an immediate response and those kind of things. So, but I just wanted to make sure that I let you know that she would be willing to at least do that for a while yet too.
Her other job is 8 to 5, Monday through Friday?
Usually it's more like 8 to 4:30. She usually comes, she's been coming like 4:30 to 5, and then some nights and weekends.
Would we have to pay our employees overtime to stay and talk to her? That's what I'm thinking of, and to
That's-
me,
that's
that'd
the
be
issue,
something
the
I'd be,
downside.
have an issue with that.
How
But I
far
just wanna let
behind,
you know.
how far behind is Scott Bader? Is he behind? Does he need help?
Well, that's what we'll find out, I guess. That was your proposal, to have this person come on for 3 months and see how it goes. So
Did his part-time start yet?
he's been gone yesterday and today apparently, so I guess she starts Wednesday. But she will be starting this week.
I guess the only issue I would have with that, Max, and I understand that
Mhm.
might be an option, but I think the HR person would require maybe a little more expertise and training, knowing, having to know what the benefits
The laws
include
and
and
that
those
are.
kind of things.
Mhm.
So it might be just a
Yeah,
highly
people pay
qualified
for it.
person for one, but overqualified for the
For
other.
the other, yeah, I can see that. What were you thinking for a wage?
I guess I would be open to whatever suggestions anyone has.
What do you think?
I'd have to look at the,
I
Well,
think-
we're
I think
retained
it's
Aaron.
gonna take the
Well, she
same
was
way.
the chief deputy
Yeah.
status because Andrea went over there.
Yeah, that's
When
one
you
of those
say
always.
Part-time, what are you
Especially
talking about?
I'm thinking if
part-time,
you're
I
doing
think it's
part-time,
the
just do
same.
20,
Excuse me.
around 20, I think. I don't know, just for the expertise that you're gonna have for the part-time, do they wanna come in for 10?
So then we're not paying any,
We're not paying any
No.
bennies either.
are you 20 hours? 25?
So-
I think 20
Has
would
to
be
be
plenty.
less than 20 or state retirement and everything.
Right now, what is it
I think you
taking
could
to
do it for
payroll,
less than
Gary?
20.
Any idea?
It varies, but yeah, I think you could get by with probably 20 hours.
But you want to keep it less than 20 for
So you
them.
go 18?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I can't imagine that 18 hours a week wouldn't do our payroll. I mean,
I can't either. Because if you have
Not
scheduled
payroll,
time,
you
Benefit.
benefits.
You're not, yeah.
Benefits.
You
Well,
don't
I
wanna
mean,
start talking about payroll.
Well, they
and
still have to
then
do the entry.
Yeah,
the-
well, tell me
no,
what
this
is this
this
person,
is
they're gonna
still
do the
outside
hiring of
payroll.
the new hire.
This is benefits.
What are they all
benefits.
I would guess, keep track of the benefits,
bills.
the
Somebody
new
said
hire
sundial.
orientation.
Sundial.
Make sure
Everything that Aaron did, right?
Sundial
Yeah, they do
measured
the
by
explaining.
employee.
Except for the payroll side of
That's
it.
automated.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
So what they
Whatever
would do-
Aaron would do as far as the new hire, get them in the system, make
Right.
sure their benefits are properly calculated based on their insurance needs.
And all the invoices to us to pay the insurance with the documentation if there's discrepancies.
So is this also alongside the payroll system? Is it a lot of entry? Because we had talked about
No,
who's
it
gonna
should
be
not be,
doing the...
other than
not.
entering the
Just
new
the
employee.
verification.
And maybe Gary could better explain all the responsibilities, but whatever Aaron was doing, that would be my intent, have this part-time person do that. Much like we were gonna have Cliff do.
But I definitely think if you're gonna find a qualified person, you're gonna have to be in the 20s.
I do too.
And since it's part-time, you may wanna consider the same wage, just not benefit.
Because it'd be even less, right?
So what is
So
that?
at 18
But what's the
hours,
wage?
at 20,
I'm looking to see what that
I
would
couldn't
be.
find a
20
wage on the other.
On the second from last one. It should be. But all the chief deputies are
2388 on the last
2388.
page. I can find that one, I couldn't find the other one I was looking for.
so you don't think that if
Chief
you,
deputy, is that what you're,
Yeah.
so 2388, okay.
so if you went 18 hours a week at $20 an hour, you don't think anybody would, I mean, that's pretty good money for a
Yeah, I
part-time
would
job.
think so,
Yeah,
too.
it is.
It is, but if you're getting people that have the knowledge to know the systems, know the laws, know the... I mean, that ain't that, you can try it, and see what we get.
Well, you could base it on experience too, couldn't we?
Sure.
I mean, kind of
But
set 20 at the...
We can put dependent upon experience, and just leave it open.
And I would look more towards you've got the assistant communication director and assistant emergency management director at 2177. I would lean more towards that than the 2388 myself.
Yep.
To me, though, that's a little different because they're both full-time. But I mean, I know there's
Right.
a degree of tech, yeah.
I think you put depending on experience and see what
Yeah.
what comes in and
We
ask
can
them what
do
they
that.
think they need. And if they say $18, you know.
We hire
say,
them.
Might-
you know.
Jump on it.
Yeah,
Might be
I don't,
fully
I,
retirement age,
right.
it just wants to slow down.
That works.
You might want
We'll
to.
do
You're not watching
that.
the meeting.
Sounds like a plan.
That's why I said 18.
Get that out.
And then it'd be 18, maximum of 19 and a half hours a week.
Sounds good.
So the way that reads, just a quick question, is it anything over 20?
It's 20 or
20
or
or
more.
greater, okay.
Or is
So
it
it's-
20 or less?
You have 20 or less.
Oh, it is
So they
20 or
can
less.
work up to 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I had
That's
it
why I
wrong.
wanted to make sure we clarified that, so we're not saying that 19 and a half is the cap.
So 20 is a
But
Sounds
let's
like
state
20 is the
retirement.
Might need to double
Is
check.
that 20 or more or 20 or less?
That's 20 or more.
So it had-
So we want to,
We better say
Okay.
19 and a
you
half.
better say
Sounds like
19 and a
that.
half.
Sounds
Keep
like
us
there's
safe.
two different.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
Exactly. I want to do it right the first time.
So we had
Sounds
a
good.
motion by Sutton and a second by Hanson to advertise for a part-time HR benefits specialist, what do we want to call it?
Payroll benefits specialist.
So it is some payroll, so
And-
they'll verify the entries.
At 19 and a half hours a week,
Up to.
up to 19 and a half hours.
Sounds good.
All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Just for clarification, is it HR benefit specialist or payroll benefit specialist?
Would you say, Gary, HR payroll benefit specialist?
There you got it.
All of it.
You need both of
HR
them in there?
payroll benefit specialist. That sounds good. What a title.
Well,
But that
why
one
don't you
of
just
those
do
little
one or
things.
the other?
Well, I
Okay,
think
call
they're
it-
doing both.
Call it a benefit specialist then,
Yeah.
because the benefits are administered through the payroll.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, terminology.
Okay, we got the items on the agenda. Max, you want to go through your items that you have?
Okay, minutes, joint city-county, April 2nd, general meeting, April 3rd.
Move.
Moved by Dispatch, second by Kifley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims,
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Hanson, approve claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
Move.
Second.
How much wages did, I know Don's coming out, so I hate to say this, but Dave, where was the other guy that he's replacing? Where's the staff?
Who?
That
His
Don's
wage will be the
replacing?
same as it is
He's not
for elections,
replacing.
1541.
This is the new hire?
That's Pete.
No.
Pete Hessler?
Pete has.
I couldn't find him on here.
For landfill?
That's
Yeah,
on the
I
back
was trying to
page
figure out what
also.
wage it was.
1541. It's on the part-
1541?
part-time landfill.
Oh, okay, thank you. I couldn't find
Yeah,
his
it's
name
the
on there.
same. Yeah,
I'll wait till...
Is it on here?
yeah.
it
It
is.
might not be there.
Second to
Back
last.
page.
You gotta go around twice.
Right.
There it is. Must have looked at it 15 times.
Same wage?
Same wage,
Same wage.
part-time.
Speaking of Don working for the auditor's office, he helped me for 2 hours on Sunday proof. I can't proof the minutes by myself looking back and forth. It's just too hard and takes too long.
Township minutes?
Yeah.
These things.
Those spreadsheets.
Going from here to here.
Right, back and forth. So I read it, and he worked for 2 hours with me proofing on Sunday. Can I pay him for that?
Sure, just get your personal checkbook up.
The
No, I'm just
what?
kidding, yeah, your personal checkbook.
Yeah.
They can pay what you want.
Well, he's on the payroll, right?
Yes.
It's my understanding he's already,
And you had to do it then too, so, the other
To get
staff
done
wasn't
by
helping.
Tuesday.
I don't have a problem with it.
No, go ahead.
Just pay him.
Okay, now, can I also, if we start falling behind with stuffing the envelopes and that, can I have him come in a couple of hours just to help with that?
Depends on if he's working the landfill or not.
Well, I don't
Just kidding.
think Pete's done until...
He's not
He
done till
can't
May
stuff the
16th,
envelopes
or May.
in the landfill.
He's not done till May 12th.
Well, you're gonna have an extreme amount of paper going through in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. you're
Yeah.
probably gonna
Now,
get
this
some
is an unusual year.
Okay,
I,
so,
yeah, I can be
Just
part of
kinda
this
keep us
part.
informed of what he's doing as far as hours and that type of thing, I think
Right.
it's fine.
okay, all right.
We had a motion by Sutton, a second by Fishback to approve the HR report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, lease agreements.
Well, that was
Four of
all
them?
on those,
There's four of them?
I move them.
Are we having a college graduation booze party at the Richmond Lake?
Uh-huh, looks like it.
That's what I thought.
It's up to you.
Well, if they're of age, how are you gonna stop it?
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and I would
We'll see how it goes. They have all those little protections
They have
in there, so.
insurance.
They've got their insurance.
Yep, okay.
Motion by Kipling,
Second.
second by Sutton to approve the lease agreements. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
There was a fair contract that needs a motion
Move it.
this week.
Second.
Moved by Fishback, second by Sutton to approve a fair contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
There was a letter from the treasurer on some uncollectible taxes.
Second.
Moved by Hanson, second by Sutton to approve the treasurer's uncollectible taxes from, you said his date was 11?
Yeah, it was in the packet.
Yeah,
Was it
that's
mobile?
right.
Yeah.
Mobile
Oh,
sign.
Croydon, Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the quarterly interest report.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Fishback, second by Kipling to approve the first quarter interest report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Fair board bylaws amendments.
What were, and this one didn't deal with the money.
Why, I had one question on that. Why was the first change bothered me about not having the meeting on an established date? It's to me, it's too sporadic, and when people want to come talk to a board, if it's always this, I mean, I understand an occasional change because of weather or venue or whatever, but why that change? Well, how come that was so
Pull it out
that
and read
had
it.
to
What did
change?
it say?
It just says they're changing it to whatever date is designated by the board.
Regular designated
From
meetings
the
are
second
from
Wednesday, it is now.
to a month on a date designated by the fair board. So when are they going to designate? I like boards to be available to the public, and if you put it in 24 hours out here, how are the people in Frederick or Broughton or wherever going to be able to get to it? That's my only question.
Typically, the month, so like in March,
Let's
they
do
would
that.
set the date for the April meeting.
And then advertise it as such?
Well, it'd be part of the minutes.
And do the minutes get posted on the websites?
That I can't tell you, I
See,
don't.
that's my only question. It's,
Did they discuss that, Rachel? I missed the last
didn't,
meeting.
no.
Okay, I was just wondering the reason.
Good point.
I'd move acceptance on the rest, excluding that one. I mean,
Well, do we have
You
to
don't
approve
have
it
to
now?
approve
Do
it
we
now.
need,
you don't have to improve it out good.
I'd say push it back till next week, give us an explanation.
I just
I
like
won't.
board,
Yeah, 'cause
whether it's a weed board or a planning board or whatever board.
if they're changing it.
Will you be there
Yeah.
tomorrow night, Rachel?
Yes.
I'm in Sioux Falls, so I won't make
Okay.
it, but maybe that's...
Well, I guess one of the other questions I would have on those amendments in there,
Mhm.
did they put the Monday in there that there's been
I
some
don't see that
discussion about,
addressed.
so maybe that needs to be addressed also.
Why,
But-
did you want to keep the Monday, or did you have a
I don't have a
preference?
preference. I'm gonna go by what the Fair Board wants, but I don't know that there was an explanation
As to why.
to why, and I think, if
There's
we're
split on
gonna,
that opinion, I think, the way
Well-
I understand it.
but if there's a majority vote in the Fair Board, I'm not gonna rule the Fair Board. I mean, I would like to know
Why-
what's
why
going
the-
on there, so I guess that would be the other option, is to find out what
Okay.
the Monday is after the fair and the date as far as setting
Did you-
a hard date as far as when they meet. And we'll put that on the agenda for next week then, and I guess if you want to represent the Fair Board or if you want Derek here, I guess we can determine that next Tuesday.
Sounds
Here,
good.
I'll take it over there too.
Anything else, Pat?
Okay, there was a letter that they're going to, stop
Thank you.
the foster grandparent program and the retired senior volunteers. That's kind of sad.
I know.
With FGP, they were allocated $1,500 for 2018, and they've received all that money, and that's
Okay.
no problem, correct?
Right, I have no problem with that, we did that
Right, even
budget-wise.
though they'll only be,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Operating half the
I
year.
don't think we
They'll
did,
probably already,
yeah.
I'm sure.
they've burned through that $1,500, I'm sure.
Just leave it
Right.
They've budgeted
Take
for
another
that
one.
already, I'm sure.
Right.
Not going around again.
Right.
I'd like
Sign of the times.
to ask for a short exec for personnel.
Move it.
Second. Moved by Hanson, second by Kepley to go into exec for personnel.
Aye.
Get out of there.
Oh, and we needed a camera.
There you-
That was a little creepy.
Yeah, no kidding.
We are out of exec with no action as a result.
Jerry Walton.
I've got an appointment now, but I can read.
Gary, do you have anything
You have something?
Oh, yeah, we're waiting for some FedEx.
Just a couple things.
Supposed to close in that.
Medica's quote came in and we actually went down 4.2%.
We did?
Medica,
Oh, Medica.
4.2% decrease is proposed and no increase on vision. So do you still want me to ask for quotes on other insurances still, or?
I
That's
only
what they're
have to endure
asking.
Medica for another 6-7 months, and then I'll be glad to get off it.
So that doesn't help the rest of us.
I know. You know what I found out? The reason they're one of the reasons they keep changing my prescription from what my doctor orders is because they own certain prescription companies or have money invested in them. So if you've got
They
pill
favor
A prescribed and they own pill B, they will say they're not going to pay A, they're going to pay theirs.
Wasn't
It
there
doesn't cost us anything to ask for a quote, just to see if
No,
Walmart...
we just have to do some additional paperwork. I'll have to update some files and things, but
At least
if
see if
you want-
Walmart is trending
Okay.
downward also, maybe they...
Sounds
Well,
good.
our loss ratio must have been less this year for them to go down
That's
4.2.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Now, was I correct, Medica just paired with Humana out of Kentucky or someplace? I recall reading something, Humana paired with Humana?
It was Humana or else the Mayo Clinic. that they-
No, there was a Humana now that they just
Yep.
bought into, or there was some kind of merger between...
They bought out Humana, if I remember right.
Last thing was,
That's my case.
we've been discussing three different times, the sheriff and deputy investigator rates.
We put that on for next
We put that on for next week, good.
Yep, so we can act on it.
Good deal. All right, sounds good, because they are starting the interviews for that, so
How many they
they're
got?
wanting to... So they just wanted to make sure we're moving forward on it, so... Sounds good. That's all I had.
Is there anything else to come before the commission this morning?
Oh, there's a, sorry, I haven't got this mailed to you yet. There's a Lake Region Commission Association meeting on April 19th.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that'll be
You're
tough,
done with
but
taxes.
Huh?
You're done with
I
taxes.
know, but I think I have another trip planned
Where is
about
this
that
gonna be
weekend.
at?
That's a
that I can
Wednesday, right?
make.
in Sisseton,
Well, that's on Thursday.
yeah, at noon, and I
I'll
feel
be
like
there.
Yeah, I
okay.
know. This is
I'm there too.
pretty close to Hankinson.
That's what I was thinking, am I going east?
You'll
Or
send
am
it
I
to us.
gonna-
I'll send you, yeah, I just wanted
Will
to
you
get
send that to us?
April
Oh, yeah.
19th at noon.
I
We
just,
could road trip and look at those bridges Dirk wants us to see on the way up. Remember Dirk had mentioned those couple bridges?
Mhm.
I know where the two are up north, if we want to go see them.
Unless they're covered with snow.
Yeah. Play it by ear.
That sounds good.
Okay?
okay, I will get that sent out.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move.
So, second.
Moved by Kepley, second by Sutton to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, it's next Thursday.
We are adjourned.
Next
Oh,
Thursday.
you guys
Thank you.
have a fun day.